Hi, everybody. Welcome to another segment of What is Your Self-Love Story? I just got done going out and about, so I'm feeling a little hot, little frazzled a little bit, but hey, it's okay. It is showtime. So today I am featuring someone named Tara, and I met her through Facebook. I believe it was either through Instagram or Facebook. So she's going to hop on. And before she does that, I'm going to share this out. And for anyone who has not seen this before, I've been interviewing, featuring, highlighting members from the self-love community. So if you're looking for some free support, I left a link above there. And there she is. And yeah, I've been doing this every single week because I know that only some of you can relate to my story. And so as we hear from other people, you'll be able to grab a nugget, grab something from that. So Tara, I am going to get you on right now. So please give her a warm welcome. I believe this is her first time going live. I'm bringing a lot of newbies to the Facebook Live. So please give her a warm welcome. You look so fabulous. Hey.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Yeah, so her energy is obviously, you can feel it's so vibrant. It's so
Thanks.
wonderful. Yes.
Thanks. I don't hide it, that's for sure.
For sure. Why not? The world needs more of it, so why not shine
Yeah,
it, you know?
absolutely.
So, yes, I'm going to be sharing this out. And while I do that, I always ask like a icebreaker question. And just
Cool.
on top of your head, you don't have to think too much about it, but how would you say, like who are you? Like, like, well, on your bio, I mean,
Well.
immediately your bio is like actress, self-love activist,
Yes.
empath, and all
Yes,
this.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes. So, yeah, what else? As far as like, how would you describe who you are? What were some words that like are definitely you?
Yeah, the self-love activist, but I define it as self-love warrior. I also define myself as an empath, someone with a very, very tender heart, something I ignored for a long time, which we can talk about more for later. So yes, actress as well, theater actress, and
Love that.
just Leo badass extraordinaire.
And done.
And scene.
Exactly. I love that. Okay, so hi everybody. Just welcoming everyone in once again. My name is Quinn and this is Tara. I had to interview her. I had to highlight and spotlight her because we met not too long ago, and I want to say it was through Instagram, and then you joined the self-love community, something like that, and then we had a
We've never actually
call.
like hung out in person.
No, never. And this is why I love the virtual world for these reasons, because we get to just connect. You just don't know who's going to float into your space, and boom, connection. And when we practiced the Facebook Live yesterday, I just saw transformation within the time that we've connected, which was not so long ago.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
You know, you mentioned, shared with me some things that you were going through with your emotions and things like that. And since then, I've just been seeing this woman right here, or maybe I got to point this way, that you were sharing more of you in a very high vibes way, and from a very loving place. Like, you were just brightness. If you guys follow her on Instagram or like Facebook, you're just so bright. And I'm like, all right, there's some sort of work that you're doing.
Oh yeah.
It takes dedication to be able just to exude that and almost feel like it's so natural. I know it takes dedication. Yes. So with that said, that's why I'm bringing her on here today. And so to start this, I am very curious, what were some of the main events that you can think of that led you? I know it's right. We're thinking about the pain because there's a common theme. It's always going to be the pains that brings us here, because the pain is trying to wake us up. The pain is talking to us saying, hey, you already know this is not working. When is it going to change? Or when are we going to pivot? So yeah, what are some of the events that definitely you would say that led you to discover self-love or healing or transformation or personal growth, all of that?
Sure. I came across actually a quote today, and I wrote it down because it really struck me. And it said, the things that go wrong for you have a lot of potential to become part of your gift to the world. And I was like, yes, abso-freaking-lutely, because I really have to say, like, the only times that I have managed to grow the most drastically is in my most painful of bottom moments. It started with in 2013. I was in a relationship that just was not a good relationship. There was a lot of blame. There was a lot of shame. There was a lot of secrets and lies. There was a lot of betrayal, and I wasn't feeling that it wasn't speaking to me. And I literally, I don't even remember what happened or what day it was or what specifically led to this moment. That I was reading, I came upon Brene Brown's book, Daring Greatly, which she is my favorite, and she literally has changed my life. And there's something that spoke to me in that book, and I just all of a sudden was like, oh my God, I am unhappy with this relationship, but I am unhappy because I am choosing the wrong men. And I couldn't understand like why. So I went through this process of, even in the midst of the relationship, like learning about vulnerability, which as a tender-hearted person, I didn't have a lot of vulnerability because I thought vulnerability equaled like weakness. And so within our relationship, I started to kind of notice that pattern, like we weren't very vulnerable with each other. There was a lot of brick walls happening. So I really tried to do some of the work, but I realized that it just was not right. And he ended up breaking up with me, which is a marvelous thing, because once he did, I just felt like I had been freed. And I felt like the world was like, okay, now you can start. So I went through a process of like 2 years just deciding like, I am not going to be in a serious relationship. I am going to commit myself to figuring out what it is that really speaks to me and figure out how I can improve myself. Not to say that I didn't stumble and meet a couple of gentlemen along the way, but the universe was like, no,
they will be there.
No, you do not belong with them. Get out. So they got out and they were gone, which was wonderful. And I spent some time really figuring out who I was. Brene Brown was a huge advocate in my life, behind the scenes advocate. But also I stumbled upon Super Soul Sunday, which was amazing because Oprah has this program where she has on pretty much all and any spiritual, non-spiritual, atheist, Catholics, Christians to talk just about life and their lessons and where they are as humans. And it really opened up my mind. I grew up in a household that was very Christian, and I never quite identified with it, but I knew that I wanted something, like spiritually I wanted something, and I was hungry for it, but nothing was quite speaking out to me. And that show really introduced me to the concept of having spirit and what spirituality is versus religion, and it taught me a lot of who I could identify with as a spiritual person. And I realized actually last night when I was kind of reflecting on the questions that you sent over, I realized that I think a lot of me felt really lost for a long time because I had in my mind what I thought was to be the proper way to be, like the proper spiritual person, the proper, like I thought there was a structure that I needed to follow, and especially spiritually, and that made me feel really lost. And so I took some time to kind of just gather up, okay, well, what do I believe in? What are the things that speak to me? In 2015, I learned a lot about love along the way. And so I was learning about what it is to love yourself, but what it is to love another person. And in 2015, it was like the universe was like, hey, all those things I've been teaching you, it's time to put them into practice. And I met my husband then. Yeah. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. And he was like, yeah, you are. Yeah. So with the help of another tender-hearted, gentle soul, I really was able to relax into the things that I was learning and figure out who I was when it comes to loving myself, but also loving another person at the same time. And my husband, he just opened up his arms and was like, I'm going to break down your walls, and if it takes forever, I'm here. And so we just slowly worked together on breaking each other's walls down. So that was a really huge factor into my healing. But then along that figuring out who I am and how to love another person and love myself now with all these lessons I learned, I definitely worked myself up a little too much and said yes a little too much. And I ended up having a panic attack that put me into the hospital, and I didn't know what was happening. I had no clue what was happening. And so after I had that, I realized something happened inside me that evening. And I realized, like, I know that I'm not the only one who has ever had this experience happen.
Right.
I know I'm not alone. My mental health is nothing to be ashamed of, and I want to talk to people about it. And so I ended up posting a big post about it and saying how much, you know, I learned, and what I realized is that those moments of panic come up within me, say yes too much to things I really should be saying no to. And that has been,
right there.
I know.
Because so many people have anxiety.
Yes.
Man, I'm just thinking about my mom. Like, a lot of saying yes, a lot of people pleasing. I'm hearing perhaps that too, because you're just like, yes, right? So
and I call myself an ex-people pleaser, because I realized I needed to remove that title in order to really liberate myself. So it's a journey. I mean, it's not like I'm like, woo, I don't please people anymore. I'm my own woman. But I still, to this day, I really have to figure out, like, okay, where in my body is this at? Am I feeling that lump in my throat, like I'm going to throw up? Oh, that's a no. That's a no. But am I
sure no?
Yeah. And so I realized I was saying yes to a lot of things that my body was like, no, girl, you got that. And it evolved in this physical reaction. And so I just made the decision from that point on, like, I was going to have more, just be more of an open book. And really within this past, like these past couple of months, I've, with the quarantine and everything that's been happening, just decided, like, people want to connect to the words that you're saying. And when or things that you're feeling, I should say. And when I share them, I also learn a lot about myself with the things that people have to interject about their experience. And so by sharing that, it's made me self-reflect a lot. And by challenging myself, like, I set up a mission, like, okay, weekly, I'm going to pick a theme and I'm going to explore those themes about myself and share what I find about myself. And so that other people can relate. And I found that it just kind of took off. People were like, oh my God, yes. So it really spoke to people. But something that also helped along the way is I did find a wonderful life coach who just, I mean, therapy has been my life story. I'm not afraid to say I've been in therapy since I was like a kid. And I went to another therapist after a very traumatic experience happened, and she wasn't speaking to me. And I just one day was like, I need a life coach. And it was so random, but I just went online and I found my life coach.
How it shows up so loud and clear too. You're like, oh my God. And then it's like, why is it so clear right now?
And so it showed up very strongly. And I found my life coach, Michelle, and she really, really got inside of me in, like, the most gentle, pure, loving ways. And she taught me to, to set up a morning routine, to get things within my day that, listen to my body, to just all the things and practices that I feel now, which eventually led me to the healing practitioner course that I took, which is where I'm at today, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
So, so it's been a really gradual and difficult and gritty journey. And one of the things I really realized is that I want to share my grit. My grit is the thing that people connect with and can understand and love about me as well. I dropped the weak. I feel I'm weak if I share my vulnerability platform. I got really into the vulnerability aspect of my life and just opened myself up, but not opened myself up to the point where people could just, like, come in and do whatever. I mean, I had to really also set some serious boundaries, which boundaries are self-love. Hello. And I'm still learning. But I realized that I had a lot to share and stories that needed to be spoken, but also getting in touch with that tender side of me. I always hated that about myself. And I just one day was like, My mom has called me a tender-hearted kid since day one. That's something that's been in my blood, and yet I've ignored it for so long. So when I stopped ignoring these things about myself and just said, yeah, that's who I am. Yeah, I'm a tender-hearted empath who feels a lot of things. And even though I was told by people, that's not good to feel things, you're too emotional, stop being
Mm-hmm.
emotional. Once I
Mm-hmm.
accepted those things about myself, I mean, hello, like things just opened up exponentially. So,
Oh my gosh, you said so much amazingness. I mean, like we got Steve over here relating to you. He says, "Thank you, Tara, for this. I'm definitely checking out Super Soul Sunday. Love that. Like
cool.
I've heard of it, but I've never tuned into an episode. So that's really cool that she's bringing everyone from whatever that they believe in
Mm-hmm.
together, and you get to hear so many perspectives. And I'm sure there was so much in alignment in that kind of discussion that
Absolutely.
she's hosting. So I love that. Steve also
Absolutely.
says, I've experienced that physical manifestation of anxiety too can be
Mm.
a tough to get a handle on. When you spoke about that,
Mm-hmm.
when it's like you were already starting the journey and then we hit this like other rock bottom again, but it's
Mm-hmm.
with our physical health. I feel like that is definitely a part of the healing journey, and it's your body showing, oh, you're missing something here.
Yeah.
You've been saying yes too much. So
Yep.
that's why I'm showing up in this way and
Yeah.
giving you an anxiety attack. And
Yeah. And
yeah.
paying attention to where that trauma is in my body is
Oh, yeah.
so huge because for the longest time, I mean, I've always felt like a little lump there, but I couldn't really figure out why do I always feel stuff there. And I realized it's because, I mean, I went way back like, oh, it's because when I was a kid, I blah blah blah. Like it just, everything has some kind of attachment. And like even today I posted about my inner child work I've been doing because forgiving
Mm,
myself as a kid as well is also self-love for those
mm,
times that I hated myself when I was made fun of because I was overweight as a child. Like
yeah.
that's all self-love as well, forgiving that part. And so with the anxiety aspect, and I'm sorry, Steve, that you can relate, but I'm also glad that you can understand because one of the things that I started doing for myself, especially during quarantine,
Mm-hmm.
is I just made anxiety and fear my friend. And
Oh, I
the
love
thing,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
anyway,
another
keep
self-love. I
going.
mean, the
Keep
the
going.
thing that
Yeah.
I say to myself when I'm feeling those feelings kind of bubbling up is I just say like, look, anxiety, fear, like I know you're here with me, you're in the car with me, but I'm driving right now, and you can sit in the back seat and I'll take you where you need to go, but you can't drive. You're not driving because I'm
Oh man,
driving.
you guys, that is oh my God, that is the self-dialogue.
Yeah.
Like this,
Yes.
a part of it is the
Yes.
self-dialogue, the self-compassion talk. I talk a lot about becoming your own best friend, and that's literally it, like acknowledging all the
Yeah.
parts of you that's coming up and having a conversation with that because that is a part of you.
Yeah.
Whatever that anxiety is, that fear, because when I hear you say that, it's the inner child that wants to be acknowledged and they're feeling
Hmm.
anxiety right now and they just never been acknowledged and cared for and talked to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I absolutely love. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the movie. What's the one with all the emotions? Is it Happy, Joy? There's the
Oh,
character Joy.
yes, I know what you're talking about. It's the Pixar movie.
Yes,
I just watched it
Inside
not too
Out,
long ago.
Inside Out,
Yes,
Inside Out.
that movie is so cute and so true. It's like,
It's
yes,
so
that's
good.
perfect, perfection. But you're right about the self dialogue. That was another thing that I really had to like work on. And
Yeah.
it's so crazy how you're like one of the things that my life coach taught me is changing the shoulds and the have tos of your life to I get to, I'd like to, I would
High
like
five.
to,
That's what I
yeah.
tell my clients too. Like we get
And
to, what do you get to do?
yes, paying
Yes.
attention to the things that you're like, that you, oh, stopping this, the stupid, I'm fat, I'm that, all of that. And that's a process. That is a process that I think will be a process for my entire life. And the thing that I really advocate and believe in is that this is not a process that ever ends, and you don't magically wake up one day and you're healed. And the healers in our life are not healed themselves. Like, we are human and we all are changing and experiencing things as they come. And as a healer myself, like, I want to make it perfectly clear to people, like, this is a process. You don't get to just check in real quick, do some meditation, and then be gone with it. Like, this is something I have to work on every single day. And it hurts. And it feels really good, and it's tiring, and sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do it, and I'm like, no, do it. Write down 3 things you're thankful for. Go.
It's a workout. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
it is workout. Yeah.
But it's like building your strength emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, like all of that. Like it's building you up. So it's like it's tiring, but guess what? It's actually building something up. It's not just gonna go away for nothing.
Yeah.
It's you, and that's something that no one can take away from you because you built that. You
Yes.
did it.
It's so true. It's so true. And that's what the meditation does for me as well. It really, it's not only, it's built in that daily routine of, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't care what time it is. It's 8:00 in the morning. Last night I meditated at 11:30. Like,
high five to you.
It's just what I have to do. Yeah. And with that, with the meditation and finding moments to calm yourself down, and you don't even have to do it for like 10, 20 minutes. You can do it for 5 minutes. You can do it for 3 minutes, but building that routine that also helps with the anxiety management and the depression management of like taking that time to recorrect some of the things happening within my brain to say, okay, you're not in fight or flight mode right now. You are in relax mode, and retraining my brain. So yeah, it's been a very, very detailed, very long process. But yeah, I mean, the routine seriously has helped me tremendously. And honestly, quarantine gave me some time to really focus in on that. And not to say that I wasn't like I talked to you and I was like, I'm having anger. I don't know what to do with this anger. And I really had to find a way to channel that anger, and finding ways to, to talk to people, to consult people, to take your antidepressants, to, go out for a walk when you don't feel like walking, and stuff like that. That really has helped me kind of settle into myself.
Love it. So what would you say, what's been your most like constant like practice so far? You mentioned meditation. What is like today now, like what is like your main go-tos to like self-care and self-love yourself?
So I meditate daily. If I don't, like this weekend, I had a lot of tragic stuff happen, and I was feeling very emotionally heavy, and I really had to say to myself, like in moments that I just was like, I'm too tired, and I had to say, to myself, like, that's okay. That's okay. Your family's ill. You have to take care of yourself, and that's okay. So also to be forgiving when you don't do the things that you've promised that you will do for yourself. But really, like, journaling has been a really good thing for me, a practice. What I did is I started off by when I was watching like Super Soul, I would write down the quotes that really spoke to me. So I had those as a point of reference. But then that evolved into writing I call it bullet point thank yous. Rather than like journaling, like, dear journal, I'm writing a 20-page journal entry. You do the bullet point journal entries to be like, today I'm thankful for my husband. Today I'm thankful for my life. Today I'm thankful for the fact that I have food during quarantine. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And expressing that gratitude, which is another way for instant self-love, to just realize like, oh my God, even days when you're like, what do I have to be thankful for? You just think of like, I'm thankful for the chair beneath my butt. Like, something like that.
No, that's how I love that you bring that up. Like, perhaps that's where you can start, like from the very obvious things that are literally there right in front of you or beneath you, next to you, and then you can expand on that. I love that you brought up gratitude, because that was something that I heavily went into. I was just like, I need to find something positive. And I like it that you said bullet journal, because it would be like, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, and it would boom, 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 and it just started expanding. And then would you say you become a grateful person? That's just a part of who you are, because you're practicing it, being grateful, and you're practicing that every day. Or consistently.
Right, the gratitude, and really the things also like paying attention to when I'm on overload and when I'm emotionally drained, and like
Heck yeah.
social media, I mean, it has been a really big challenge, and acknowledging like, oof, I see, 5 bad things in a row. I'm like, not today, not today. I'm not feeling that. And utilizing social media in the most positive and happy way I can, but not happy like everything's great, but like, look, I've been through this crap and I want to tell you about it. So if you're going through this crap, you can also understand where I'm coming from too. So using social media in a positive platform to connect with people, and really just the saying no more often when I don't feel like doing things, and spending more time acknowledging, like journaling, what feels good to me today? Like, what do I want to do? And asking myself that question all the time. What do I want to do right now? Okay, I think I want to go walk. I'll do the laundry when I come back, or something like that. And like, do I have the mental capacity to do the laundry right now? No, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that I'm not a failure if I don't fold my freaking laundry.
Right? Like,
yes.
Oh, it's over. You didn't do laundry because you said you were going to do laundry, or you said it the other day, and you don't have the mental capacity today. Oh, right.
Paying attention to what you have capacity for. But yeah, honestly, and getting out in nature has been another really good one. I take at least 2 walks a day to really just ground myself. Physical. And yeah. So those things have been really helpful in a daily practice, to get up early in the morning, even though I've been working from home, to get up about an hour before I have to start work. Yeah. But get up an hour early and like really just journal, meditate, water my plants, which plants, oh my God, I never used to have a green thumb. And like halfway into quarantine, I was like, I want to get some plants. And so I did. And I'm like addicted. And but I find that it's really peaceful for me to care for this thing and to watch it grow and to figure out ways to help it grow. And it's kind of like taking care of myself, what things are going to nurture it and what things will kill it. So yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Okay. Love it. Because I wanted to know what were your go-tos, and you went boom, boom, boom right then and there. I heard walks, meditation, journaling. And the most important thing is, I feel like without that self-dialogue, those self-loving actions that you did wouldn't be as possible if you weren't kind to yourself in here, and if you weren't being your own cheerleader in here. So like, every single conversation that I have on this, it's got to be there. It's like, get to the action part. Are you kind to yourself? Because if you're already beating yourself up, what's the likelihood that you're going to be able to guide or cheer yourself on to getting to that walk, or getting to that journal, getting to close your eyes and do meditation,
Right. And you and I have kind of touched on this both, like I believe that if we all loved each other, like loved ourselves, that would solve like majority of the world's problems. That if we had that self-love, it would definitely take care of a lot of stuff. And honestly, the self-love is what makes me love people even more.
That's the key right there.
Yeah. You got to take care of yourself first before you can take care. I mean, that's such a cliche because it's heard so many times. It's like, you got to take care of yourself first before you take care of other people. So
exactly. So let's get into what you're creating now. You touched on it a little bit. I love your name and how there's a story to it where you rejected it.
Yes.
You rejected it, and your mom already saw it in you. So it's always other people seeing it in you, right? But you're like, no,
this was stupid. I'm not tender, whatever.
Right? And because of the negative narrative from what you've experienced, right? It teaches us that. It teaches us not to accept the vulnerability or the tenderness of our hearts or whatnot, and all these emotions that are really there. Let's get into that. Like, what had you say, I'm going to step into becoming a healer, a coach, an intuitive goddess healer service, When
I was with my life coach, she kind of started like, I think she was like secretly like conditioning me to like be a healer because she saw it within me and I just wasn't fully there yet. And I've always been in service jobs where I'm like just drained, but things that I want to help people but it just didn't really like speak to me. And she noticed definitely, and we started talking about the healer within me. And I started one day, I just came in and I was like, I think I want to kind of do like what you're doing. I really like this. And
she's
she
like,
was
yes.
like, let's go. So Michelle got me interested in Magdalene University, which is a intuitive healing course that I took, a
Okay.
6-month program. And
Yeah.
that really like dug in deep and was like, you have this mission now. You must do this thing that you have been ignoring forever.
You're like, oh,
So
okay. Gotta step into it now.
yeah. And I graduated in February and I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. And then quarantine hit. And I was like, no, I lost all my mojo. And then I just had to take some time figuring out what direction I wanted to go in and how I was doing. So yeah, I decided like, I want to do this. I wanted to do that and to have my Reiki certification. And of course, you can't do anything in person these days. Right. So I was like, you know what? This doesn't mean that I have to not do this. And so I started just like thinking like, what do I want this to look like? What do I want it to be? Who do I want to reach? So I started off with like, journaling about what I wanted it to be, but also journaling out names, things that spoke to me, platforms that I could really take off on. The self-love thing was huge for me. The heart chakra, like I just, oh my gosh, I received so much training in the chakra work, and the heart chakra is, of course, where all my tenderness is, and spending some time really holding that and giving space for that was really what pushed me and propelled me into where I am right now. So I was like, okay, tender-hearted. My mom's always called me that, like tender-hearted, like with it. And I was like, tender-hearted healer. Like that's it. I'm done. Boom. Like I no other names. I asked my husband, he was like, I was like, what do you think about it? And he was like, well, and I was like, nope. That's it.
How you know. You're like, I don't want to actually hear it.
Yes.
I'm sold on myself. Okay.
Yes, it's so true. So I was like, no, we're good. That's my name. So I just made the executive decision. I found someone who was like, hey, I want to design this logo for you. I just got my logo actually finalized. So I'm almost ready to share that. But yeah, I just decided like, no, I'm going to start using Instagram as my platform to speak my truth and to connect with people that way. I started learning tarot, and I've been doing tarot readings, which have been so much fun for me, and just using that really strong intuitive sense, because I am a very, very natural born intuitive. I'm not sure what the actual,
let's just say intuitive, whatever. I get it. Yeah. We get it. We get it. Yes.
But also helping with, I have my first client, and we dug into the chakra work and like what are chakras, and like I led her through a guided like meditation. And so guided meditation work, tarot, intuitive healing sessions. I'm just evolving from there and seeing where things take me without saying like, you have to be learning about this. Like I'm just kind of letting it naturally progress and see where are things picking up the most, and just kind of take it from there. So
yes,
that's where I'm at. So the tender-hearted healer is what my final name I chose. And so if that doesn't speak about who I am and what I am, then I don't know what else is. But it's so really finding other souls that need that heart healing and giving them ways to empower themselves. And that the thing that's really been the kind of the overall theme that I'm noticing is maybe my overall objective, my business objective, is that my goal is to heal through empowerment, not through me forcing change. And it has to be me. I want to lift others up. And that's really like, that's, if you look at my Facebook and like my Instagram stuff, that's really ultimately my goal is I want to share with other people. Like I have spent so much time figuring out how to lift myself up, and I have some pretty good tools. So I want to help you lift yourself up too. Yeah. And that's the only way that I think ultimately a lot of things will be solved is through that empowerment. So that's really important to me.
Well, congrats. And that name couldn't be any more perfect. So your Instagram, it has underscores underneath it, right? So it's at, and then
thank you. Yes. The _tender_hearted_healer. That's what Instagram did for me. So I was like, I accepted. So
I love it.
I eventually will have a website. I'm slow progress in way of building that, but
yes, high five to you, girl. I don't even have a website yet. I have freaking Linktree that I've been using forever. I'm eventually going to have a website for sure, but we build upon what we can.
Exactly.
On the platforms that we can, and it's working.
Yeah, I found so many cool like-minded individuals, or not even like-minded individuals, but people just to connect with on Instagram. And it's such a powerful tool for connection. I feel like it's the most powerful one there is. And
Yeah.
just by meeting random healers on there, or other people who are like, oh, cool, tell me more.
Yes.
I've met some individuals that I don't even know that I've done already readings for, that I've connected with, that
I
it's,
love
yeah,
it.
it's really changed things for me. So
Oh my
it's
God, I
awesome.
love
Yeah.
it. So I feel like when we step into that, it's a level up because it's
Yeah.
one of those things where like self-love. I've had some people approach me, and not a lot, but a few, where they're like, so
Hmm.
what's the difference of like being selfish, like because
Oh, yeah.
self-love, a part of it is selfish because yes, you
Yeah.
need that time to work on yourself. And what I
Yeah.
would like to say is, well, you know that you're going in the right direction when you're able to
Hmm.
be selfless.
Yes. Oh, that's
Because,
good.
right, like, so it's like selfish to selfless, because there's a lot of times where we been selfish in a way that wasn't selfless or wasn't
Yes.
considerate of other people,
Yes.
like it doesn't like add to this bigger picture where there's
Hmm.
peace or empowerment or helping others, lifting other people up, or
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's how you're going the right direction, when there's like this selfless part that's emerging out of it. And that's how you've have some space to
Yeah.
hold space for others now, because you've held your own space.
Yeah.
So
And
it's a
the
magical
energy,
experience. Yeah.
yeah, the energy of that selfish word, if you use it, of course, in a negative, in an evil connotation, like
Yes.
that, of course, is when it's bad. But if you can use it towards the better of yourself and the people around you, then yeah, by all means be selfish. And that's a word
Yes.
that I have had to really work on, because ooh, I was
Mm.
called that as a child, and like I really
Oh,
had to do some work around that, because like it's so funny, I'm like the least selfish person. Like I'm very like, oh, what can I, the past people
I
pleaser in
know.
me was like, what can I do for you instead of for
Yeah.
myself? And so I really had to do some work around that too, and realizing selfish is not really a bad word. But if you use it
Yes.
for evil, it is a bad word.
Yes, I agree definitely with the context. We can already know what people are talking about when they say,
Yeah.
well, God, like so
Yeah.
selfish, right? They're using it in a different place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I just congratulate you on like
Thank you.
becoming a healer for others as you've done
Yeah.
healing for yourself. And
Yeah.
gosh, I just want to thank you for kind of allowing yourself to really, how would I say it? I'm just so happy that you were able to speak freely. Like I really
Thank
felt
you.
like everything that you said, I'm just like, yes, like you're being so you right now. I know
Yeah.
going live is nerve-wracking, but in a way, once you break the ice, there's this like very natural conversation flowing from it. And that's
Hmm.
why I love this so much.
I do too.
Um,
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's yeah, it's great to be able to sit down and like, what does self-love mean to me? Like you gave me that question,
Yeah.
and I just wrote down like 5 pages of like, what does it mean to me? What's been my journey?
It's
Like,
everything.
yeah, exactly. And so it really, that self-reflection time was really helpful for me as well. So thank you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what else to say because you've covered so many great
I know.
nuggets. If anyone's watching this right now, please watch the replay because you were really so detailed. And I know that's not everything, right? If we really want to be
Oh
detailed, we're
yeah.
going to have to talk again at some other
I
time.
mean, this is
But
my journal. Like, yeah, I got details. What do you want? What do you got?
yeah, I'll pull it out. Let's read this
That's my
page.
second one for quarantine, mind you. So yeah, what do you want? I got time.
I love it. But yeah, like you did such a great job of highlighting events that led you and really helped you.
Thank
So
you.
I know that people really felt that. And, there's my story, there's your story, there's the next person's story.
Hmm.
Everyone can get something from it. And I believe that,
Absolutely.
you don't, how would I say it? I could be saying the same message and you're saying it too.
Hmm.
But perhaps, how would I say it? The story or like the
Our
tonality of how you
perspectives. Yeah.
express or perspectives can just boom, grab somebody right then and there. So
Yeah.
this was so much fun. I'm just trying to think of what else to say. Nothing. It was like, thank you. Please
Thank
follow
you.
her. Like,
Thank
hello.
you. Yeah. And yeah, contact
Instagram.
me. Yeah. That's the best way to get in touch with me right
Yes.
now is Instagram through the Tenderhearted Healer. And I respond pretty quickly. So yeah,
Yeah.
I am open and ready to receive new friends, love, all the things.
Yes, all the things. I love it. Well, oh my gosh, without further ado, I mean, just thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you, thank
you.
you
Thank you.
for trusting this space. I know we've already established that, and
Yeah.
just sharing you, seriously, sharing you, sharing the nuggets. You didn't hold anything back, and I mean, when we
That's where
can
it's at.
show up as when we show up as ourselves, we're giving other people to really be themselves too. You
Brene Brown,
know?
to show up and be seen. Like, oh my God, it's yeah.
Yeah.
And the quote, the Teddy Roosevelt quote that she follows so dearly, the man in the arena quote, like if you haven't
Yes.
looked that up before, definitely pay some time
So
to
good.
yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Like if you're not,
I have it on my
it's
wall over
it's
here.
basically with
Yeah.
judges. Like judges don't
Yeah.
get to have a say because they're not in the arena. They're not in front of the stage. They're not the
Mm-hmm.
ones there. So you don't get
It's
to
your
judge
opinion of
me.
yourself that counts, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Okay, well, oh my gosh. I just want to stay on here forever. Well, make sure you follow her. She is tagged on Facebook, but as you can see, it sounds like Instagram is the platform where
Yes.
she's
Yeah.
going to share all her goodies and
Mm-hmm.
herself and her story and what she has to offer. So
Yeah.
again, it's the underscore tender
Underscore
underscore hearted underscore
underscore healer.
healer. Yes. Yeah.
But if you type it in, if you just
It'll
type it
pop
in
up, huh?
Instagram, it'll pop up. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's not hard to find. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you
guys.
so much. Thank you
Yes,
for everyone
and
watching.
of course, and if anyone's watching and you're looking for like a self-love community, we're both in the self-love community. We're
Mm-hmm.
there. I mean, we have people
Absolutely.
there asking questions in there and just conversating, and I do my best to show up and ask questions so we can continue and engage and keep the conversation
Yeah.
of self-love going, like anything from like healthy boundaries or
Yeah.
relationships. It's all in
Yes.
there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you
All the
guys.
juicy stuff. Yeah.
Thanks for all being here, and
Thank
we will see
you.
you the next time we see you. And Tara, I know we're going to continue to connect as we already
Yes.
were. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, much love to
Thank you.
you, and
Thank
cheers
you.
to the journey. Cheers to the journey. Okay, have a good evening,
Yay.
everybody. Yay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, bye, bye.